We're wrapping it up here at the Harris Chain Pro Circuit event. Not a bad week. It's been a post-spawn kind of a tournament.
Let's hear it for Randy Howell, one of the best to ever do it from Guntersville, Alabama.
And I'm telling you, it's a very impressive chain of lakes here at the Harris Chain. If you haven't been here before, I'm telling you, it is full of fish. It is so many bass in this lake. Coming into this one, I decided to just spend my time on Lake Harris here and not run off to one of the many other chain of lakes that you can go to. And that may not have been the best decision for trying to win the tournament, but in a short amount of time, I knew I needed to find fish and catch enough and to at least secure a good solid finish here. I targeted canals and a lot of the shallow backwater areas for the post-spawn fish, and some of the fish were still actually spawning. I started kind of seeing that the last 2 days. The wind blew so bad this week, and we had wind in the forecast, and that's one of the reasons I chose some canals. I knew it would be protected and I could still fish effectively without the wind messing me up on that. So I got back into canals and I mixed it up. I've got more Daiwa rod and reels rigged up this week, probably 35 rigged up. I had a little bit of everything on because I never knew what for sure they were going to be biting. The baits that I kind of ended up catching most of the fish and putting them in the boat with was a frog a little bit in the afternoons and under some of the docks in the shade and late in the day. See that under the dock, hung me up. That Daiwa Ish Monroe frog rod and that Daiwa J Braid Grand, baby. Saved that one. And then the walking balls, Livingston walking balls. So I caught a good 3.5 this morning on that to start the morning. Walking balls, baby, right there, walking balls. But then the Wacky Cinco turned out to be the bait yesterday. I kind of changed over to the bubblegum, the pink Cinco. And that ended up being the game changer yesterday. I caught several good ones on it yesterday and a lot of keepers. In the day, I only had 2 fish at like 11:30, 12 o'clock, and I went back to my canals and caught a limit in about 20 minutes on the Wacky bubblegum Cinco. Bigger than that. That's probably about 3.8 at least, maybe 3.5. Right here, bubblegum Cinco, pink Cinco. This is my Randy Howell signature Daiwa spinning rod, power spin, straight 15-pound braid, Daiwa J Braid Grand. And Wacky hook that thing right in the hook there with the Pro X Wacky hook. And look at there. This is the deal. That's what's making them bite. Here we go. That's for my baby Robin right there. She loves that bubble gum. Pink. And ended up catching one real good one that I missed the last 2 days under a dock. And I threw this under there instead of the frog this time, and she bit that, and I caught her a 3-pounder. Missed this fish twice. Every day I miss this fish. Got him today. If you come to this chain of lakes, you know, you've got a lot of options. You can get offshore and fish, you know, the eelgrass beds and the hydrilla beds and the shell beds, stuff like that, if you don't have a lot of wind blowing. But if you do have wind, you got plenty of good canals with deep water, and these fish stay in these canals and spawn and stay around in them until, I feel like, probably all the way into late April. I feel like you could go all the way into April fishing canals here and still do pretty good. If you come to these areas, just look for that. It's a 1-2 punch. Either fish the lake if it's calm, and that's where most of your bigger fish are going to be a lot of times, but the canals were the deal for me this week. Post-spawn fishing is a lot of fun. You just gotta remember, when you find fish in an area, when they're spawning in the post-spawn time, there's typically a lot more fish there than you might think. So if you just catch 1 or 2 fish on one stretch of bank or stretch of docks, there may be, 20 fish on that bank versus 1 or 2. So if you keep going back to it and hit it at little key feeding times, I made little rotations back to places when the little key feeding window would hit like 10:30 to 1 o'clock every day. They would really turn on and get active. And that's when I would go to this one stretch of lily pads, usually catch a fish or 2, buzzing a buzz frog across there, and then throwing the walking boss a little bit. Down Cinco. And then the Cinco the rest of the time, early and late. Ooh, I needed that one back. That's a good one. So that was kind of what I did all week here on the Harris Chain. We'll take us a check back to Alabama, and hope you guys keep following us. We're going to Red Crest next, work the show there for all the sponsors, and hope to come back here to Harris Chain again and be even more prepared next time to maybe get in that top 10. So till next time, we'll see you guys on the water, and God bless, and we'll see you.